Today we're going to be installing this new Ford tonneau cover on my 2021 Ford F-150 5-liter 4-wheel drive Lariat 6.5-foot extended bed. This is the Ford brand. I believe it's called the Embark. It's the roll-out one. It goes in the box and rolls out. This is like the more premium one. This cover is quite expensive from Ford. I was able to get it a little bit cheaper, but I think it retails for like $2,200. Prices probably change over time. There's obviously cheaper ones. This seemed like the more premium option. It does take up some space. I believe about 13.5 inches of that front corner in the box, but you know, I got the extended bed. This is the 6.5 instead of the 5.5 foot, and so you know, with that added space, and I just kind of wanted the more premium one. I don't think it'll really in actual daily practice affect anything. If you have a long item, you can always put it underneath or something like that. If I change my mind, I might put a different cover on there, but I think this one will look nice. It'll look very sleek, high end, and obviously keep my stuff dry, accomplish my goals of being able to store things in the back, you know, tools, equipment, stuff like that, without worrying about it getting damaged or stolen or anything like that. So guys, I have minimal, really minimal skills and then minimal tools here. We're gonna see if we can put this together. My friend Austin will probably help me with the assembly. We're gonna unbox this thing with you guys and then put it together. And you know, the guy that sold it to me said that I probably should build it kind of on the ground and then lift it into the truck. So we're gonna try that. Hopefully it has instructions. There really isn't a lot of videos on how to put this one together. So hopefully this can be you can learn from my mistakes and get some insight on putting it together. All right, so we're gonna be unboxing these boxes. It comes in these two boxes. We have looks like the cover and then the rails here. So we'll get to work unboxing this kit and see what comes in here. Like you get the instructions here. Looks like the keys, some seals. Look like these are probably drain pipes. Keys for the lock here, because it is a locking cover. All right, this looks like this is one of the sealed. This probably goes on maybe the edge by the tailgate, but we'll see. We'll kind of just take all this out. Okay, this is kind of the beast. Right in here is your box. This is the roll up that it goes in. So I think we're gonna we're gonna read this first, like it says, and see what Ford says to do. Sturdy cast pieces of metal right here. See how it bolts onto here. No, this is probably this side, because there's a blank space over here. Yeah, this is gonna be it. As it says, remove bracket screw. Okay, I see right here, you gotta remove this bracket. So this is gonna be your shim for later, I believe. Right, this is this piece, we'll take it out. Okay, you gotta remove the white shipping tubes from both sides. So this is a shipping tube. This is just junk. Keep it from rattling around. Yes, I think that was the key, is we just needed to unlock this box here, and then now it'll slide on easier. There we go. Now we're cooking. So this will guide up in here. Machine screws. Here we go, one side down. This back one's really easy. There we go. So now step one is complete. We've gotten those rails on. Maybe slides underneath. That's gotta be it. Yep, looks like this slides underneath this whole thing. And then you can screw it in with these Allen keys. Yeah, it's like a 7/64 size actually. So I'll put these down in there. But yep, those just go right on there, and they don't need to be too tight. Just kind of tighten them, flush fit, and we can go on to the next step here. So looking pretty good so far. Got sitting there, gonna take it, plop it on top next, see what the next instructions are, and we'll get back at it. Okay guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and install these seals, these new plugs that will go in the back of my truck. It says for some drop-ins, drop-in bed liners, you're going to have to modify this a bit, but I've got the spray in, so shouldn't be a problem. But we're gonna go ahead and, before we throw this thing in the back of here, I'm gonna go ahead and pop these off, put these new seals in, so that way we can just run the drains right out without having to mess with, you know, this bulkhead. Okay, these do go the hole on the towards the outside of the bed. So we're gonna pop these right back in. They do have these like plastic clips, so they looks like they tend to break when you pop these seals off. But we're gonna go ahead and feed these in, try to seal them as best as we can. And we'll go up in here. So the seal is out flat, push it towards the front. Yeah. Okay, so we got the whole assembly up into the truck. Now we're going to install the clamps, just tighten everything, attaching it to the bed, the whole system. And then, yeah, just get your friend to help you move it into. It's really not super heavy, but it does require definitely 2 people to get it up properly. We're gonna trim the front tabs. There's a seal on the front. I think you're supposed to cut it so it sits flush on the front of the truck. And then we're gonna do the rest, install the shims to get it in the right spot, and then clamp everything together. And then it's pretty close to being done. All right, so we're gonna start working on this. I'm gonna take out my knife here, and see right here, you have to cut these off to make them flat. So we're gonna line that up as best we can, cut it like that. You're supposed to cut off the slack to get it flat, flush, so that way you don't have any drain issues. We'll cut it. All right, now you're going to want to grab your hardware, and we will start putting this in. We're going to shim the front with the bed or the tailgate, and then we're going to clamp everything together. Okay, so you're going to need a 9/16 socket or wrench for this, the whole thing. So this is pretty easy. We're just going to put these 4 clamps on here. All right, now we're going to install our clamps now that we kind of understand how they work. To slot this up here that we want to push down and pull up. We're gonna do this, attach this last clamp here, unscrewing this standoff, loosening it up, and then we just pop this in between these 2 brackets. Get that nice and flush, make sure it's properly lined, and then you're gonna make sure those are all flush fit as best you can. Take your ratchet here, and then you're gonna wanna push down and pull to tighten it up. We're gonna make sure it all works. Okay, so we want to measure here from point A, that's going to be on the back of the cover. So we want to make it 58 inches across. And so right here, this one is right at 58. Maybe it needs to be loosened a little bit. Okay, so what we're doing is, you know, we're basically syncing it up. So this is actually going a little bit like this, just so ever so slightly. So we're screwing these in. We'll loosen this up. This offsets it from the actual bed of the truck, but it's gonna make sure that this thing rides smooth along the track. So. Awesome. Okay, cool. So it sits looks like it sits at about 58 inches total. Is the distance between the rail to the rail on the top. That's the distance on the back. So we've gotten it lined up. I had to turn my screws 2 rotations. We're gonna tighten it up, and then we're gonna tighten up the offsets against the bed, which you'll see here in a second. Okay, it says we're gonna tighten these. It says to about 6 and 7 foot-pounds of torque. We're just gonna hand tighten all this stuff. You don't want to over tighten these standoffs. We don't want to break this off, but this is going to help probably get that angle that you need. Take our adjustable wrench or 9/16 wrench. We're going to tighten this up, and then we'll do that on all these as so. Now this is probably, these jam nuts will probably help you for this thing not to rattle around at all. We're just kind of hand tightening these, maybe do a few ratchets, but you don't want, it says in the manual, you don't want to over tighten these. I think these are just to really create an offset to reduce vibration and just really tighten it up so it doesn't rattle. That's probably my guess. We're just tightening these bolts. There you go, guys. And so the last thing is just to check if it rolls and install these drain plugs, or drain hoses rather, and then we're gonna set the locking mechanism, which I'll show you how it locks, as well as how you can lock it at any position, how that works. So let's do that. So in the manual it says to put these rubber seals on these hoses. Looks like they're already installed on these ones. They have some seals on here, so we're gonna put those on the bottom here and then just simply eject them out the back of the truck. Looks like you're just gonna run it up in here. Looks like it just snaps in real easy, and then you just take it and roll it out the back of there. And we're just gonna run it down there so it's a nice clear path. Slide it in one-handed. Just clip in, and then we will slide this out like that. There we go. Now it's just really all we need to do is it just kind of dumps out there, high hidden. Doesn't need to be perfect. See, that one's already looking really good. It's kind of already pouring out, so this should be good. Show you this locking mechanism. So we'll pull it out. Okay. It just has this little pointy screw that will literally just pop up against the metal, like right here in this hole, I think. But then when it's just the metal, it'll just like catch the metal will stick in. Has the same sort of thing over here, so it locks both sides when you lock it with the key. So push the button. Honestly, that's probably pretty good for the mechanism. It does have a little bit of resistance, but we want it to have a nice firm hold. This one's in there too. This one's pretty loose, and we can unlock it. Just push the button. Nice handle, and we can pull it forward, and then it's creating this nice flush fit. Pop that cover down. But yeah, guys, there is the cover here. Looks really clean on the bed. Very low profile, you know, barely see it above the bed. Definitely looks very nice. Very flush fit with this back piece. It looks like another piece of it. Looks really, really nice, guys, on the truck. Ford emblem there. Looks like a factory part. But yeah, and you can even, you can open your tailgate while it's on there, unlike some of the folding ones, and get stuff out of there if you want. Really easy. This is definitely going to be sealed. If you lock your tailgate, I mean, it's not like, this is latched. It's not like somebody can be grabbing under there. Okay, so one thing I forgot to mention and I was concerned about is the actual canister here at the end. I've read that it extends out about 13.5 inches, which you can see here. My arm here. So really, honestly, not that much. That seems about right. Really, I'm not gonna miss it. I mean, I have the 6.5, but like, it's cut at like a 45-degree angle right there. And you can easily stick longer items underneath that. So I really don't think it's gonna be much of a loss in the bed here. It's actually pretty small in size, and you're gonna have all your usable area. Guys, if you like this video, please make sure to hit the like button and subscribe down below if you enjoyed watching me install this Ford Embark bed cover. Process is gonna be the same for the 6.5 and the 5.5, I would assume. Probably even the 8-foot bed, it's all the same, just a longer pullout. Stay tuned for the build series. We're gonna be putting a Whipple supercharger on this truck and maybe doing a leveling kit and all sorts of cool stuff. So subscribe to the channel, stay tuned, let's roll.